when I first was watching what happened with the election, there was a moment of wondering, what's he playing at? Because I know the end story. I know where we're going. I just don't know the journey.
Right.
And when I was told in May that they'd passed the critical point because they'd removed the Phoenician families, that was the critical point of getting rid of them. So once I'd known that was happening, then it was just watching it play out. But then suddenly when they went, oh, Biden's won the election, but it was mainstream media and it wasn't coming out of the White House. And plus I knew things I couldn't talk about the quantum voting system, which I can now talk about. They'd run the two systems side by side so they could see how evil they were. Then I just sat back and went, wow, now I understand, because the people on the Biden side and on the Democrat side would never believe that they would do this. Well, I wasn't watching Q. I knew factually that the quantum voting system was in place.
Okay. Well, then that makes me feel a lot better.
Because I've been working on the quantum financial system.
Oh, wow.
I've been working on it for 4 years.
What's this watermark thing that they're talking about?
David, this will blow your mind. I've only just been allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
I've known about it for quite a while. The watermark, right? All the ballot papers can be printed in any state. So the paper was supplied.
That's what I was confused about right there. Okay, you just nailed it. It can be because everyone said in different states it's different. So that's why there can't be a watermark. So go ahead, Charlie. I didn't mean
there was only one supplier of the paper. So they all had the paper from one supplier that had the watermark in.
Right.
But it's not just a watermark, it's a quantum watermark. So you can actually view the ballot paper. It can be tracked from outer space. It can be tracked by satellite. Inside the watermark as well, there's a serial number and a tracking device, so that you can't see it in the paper at all with the naked eye.
Wow.
So they actually tracked every single ballot paper throughout the whole of America live as it was happening.
Wow.
Wow.
And it actually operates at 1 trillion frames a second. The quantum system.
I'm writing it down.
So even if you had two identical ballot papers, one in New York and one in Los Angeles, with your identity on it, would pick it up within a trillionth of a second.
Wow.
Amazing. And so they tracked all this in the White House, in the Eisenhower room, right?
Well, the other thing that's quite interesting, it was tracked live the whole way through. But prior to this paper being used, it was verified by Amy Coney Barrett.
What do you mean?
She verified it first to make sure that it was legitimate. She said that the paper was legitimate. She was aware. She was under an NDA. It was going to be used. So they actually, before they issued the paper, it was all verified and checked with everybody that mattered. So they couldn't say, well, you've lied to us. All of that's been checked.
Wow. So how come you're allowed to talk about it now? Wouldn't they just still not want it to come out?
No, it's now part of the exposure.
Really?
Because this is all to expose the corrupt. There was a mayor of one state that was arrested a month ago who told them what they were up to about the mail-in votes from China. So he basically grassed everybody up, told exactly where their votes were coming from, and there was millions of votes. And of course, the outside world realized from a simple mathematical problem that 9 states had more votes than the world population. So that was fairly obvious.
Right.
And then there's over 100,000 votes that are known about already of people who've already died.
Right.
Me, citizen journalist, that I'm not very tech savvy. The day after the election, I went on to the Pennsylvania voter registration, and it's there. It's just a public website, and you can look and see who's voted. It tells you the name, doesn't tell you who they voted for, but whether their name, their date of birth, and whether they're Democrat or Republican. And I plugged in the date of birth. I started at 1890. That's 130 years old. And there were lists of people, 1890, 1900, and that's just me.
Yeah.
So when I tell people I don't want them to don't relax. We got this covered. If I can uncover that, I know the government has it covered.
Also with the voting system, because the ballot paper is smart paper, once you've ticked one box, if you change your mind, it notifies the system. So if anybody tried to change your vote, they would know immediately it's been changed.
You have to warp speed this process.
I had 1,500 pages of damning evidence that I offered to the White House regarding a number of issues, including this. And I was told by the team they've got more than enough to bury them. So I could publish on my own website. So they're totally in control. They've got everything completely planned out. Everything, there's no mistakes. But it's time for everybody to wake up and see who's evil and who's not. This is
all part of the exposing, huh?
Yeah, this isn't a battle between Trump and Putin.
Yeah.
This is a battle between God and Satan. This is between good and evil. And there's only going to be one winner.
Yeah.
But the media will have you believe it's all political and it's all to do with the Democrats and the Republicans. It's not. This is a turning point in our history, and this is getting rid of evil for the Great Awakening, for good to shine through. And it will, without a shadow of a doubt, got absolutely no doubt. Because everything I've been told has happened. It's just the timing hasn't been there. It's been a bit longer than I'd hoped for, but I didn't know the timing. It was me just guessing.
Charlie, I have a question. So, with all the voter fraud, I'm trying to think how they're going to roll this out. And it seems to me that there's so much evidence that they have. And you can almost look at this as an attack on our country from a foreign country. Is it going to at some point go into the military realm? Are we going to but bypass the judicial system, which is slow and painful, and then just say, hey, we were just attacked? This is like, maybe Department of Homeland Security needs to get involved, or the military at high levels. Is that how it's going to roll out?
That would not surprise me one little bit. Because just remember that the courts have all been set up with cameras and everything in Guantanamo Bay for military trials. And I think that's my gut feeling. That's my gut feeling is that's the way it will go. It's now 5 times the size it was when they started. He spent around 200 million on it. I've had contact from captains that are flying regularly from Fort Lauderdale into Guantanamo Bay, taking in people on a daily basis. So I'd imagine there's an awful lot of people there awaiting their trial. And there'll be an awful lot more on their way there already, if they're not already there.
I've seen like a few of the people that were like poll watchers or whatever they were that weren't allowing people in, they're already getting arrested. That's what I'm saying. Are they being taken to Guantanamo Bay?
I would imagine that's where they'll be tried because of the fact that the court is set up there, ready to go. And it's a military court.
So the last to be taken down will be the bigger names, obviously.
The last to go down, I was told the last ones to go down with the mainstream media. So when I saw them all jump in the hole, I was like, we're very close to the end now.
Right. They sold out. I mean, we all watched it. Everybody saw it. Every American and everybody in the world saw what they did to us. It was a slap in the face.
Yeah.
So when they take down the mainstream media, do they also take down the anchors, the people reporting the news? I mean, do they go too?
They will. I'm sure.
Wow.
There'll be a number of news anchors, there'll be a number of editors, and there'll be a number of owners that will be taken and will be held accountable.
A lot of those people are CIA assets.
No, they'll take them out one by one, and it's fairly clear from what I understand from the people that I'm discussing with that they'll do it state by state. The feeling is, reading between the lines, that they'll probably start with Philadelphia because they've got mountains of evidence on every single state. But so they'll unpick it bit by bit. So the penny starts to drop.
Right.
Once they see one state suddenly being done correctly, then you'll suddenly start to see them go, oh my God, what have we done?
Right.
Because they'll be exposed. Trump will do it bit by bit. He'll allow them, he'll just simply, one state at a time, slowly, slowly, it'll unfold day by day. You'll see one, then another, then it will start to, the penny will drop. And when you're, whichever state you're living in, suddenly, oh dear, those figures are very, very different from what was published. And the thing is with the quantum voting system, that was verified a long time ago, and it's been verified by independent verifiers, I think 12 of them in total. So we knew that it was impossible at that stage to hack it. I'm not going to say that it's impossible ever to hack it, because that's a silly thing to say. But at this moment in time, it's impossible to hack. So Trump knew within minutes of the election being over how much he'd won, and the inside people that I talked to tell me that he won around 80% of the vote, and he got control of both houses.
Wow.
How many seats did he pick up in the House?
I don't know. That I don't know. They didn't give me the numbers.
We retained
Sorry?
the Senate. I know that, but we won more seats in the Senate as well, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and that's with voter fraud.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see is we're going to see those get reversed as well.
Yeah.
Did you all see, Dave, did you see the